So Parties and Hardos back at it with the giggity episode. Quagmire. I did that because Spinny said I couldn't, so I had to do it. How does that make you feel, Spinny?
Feels great, given it's the Brock Lesnar episode.
Brock Lesnar, bro. The Jared Allen. What are you talking about?
The Jared Allen episode. That's good,
Just gonna forget about Vikings legend?
Brock Lesnar?
That's so
I didn't forget about him. What are you talking about?
Whatever.
Oh, we love you, Jared Allen. One of the greats. What's going on, Mike? How you feeling?
Oh, just glad to be back, boys. Got a great topic today. Can't wait to share it, and then kick your ass in trivia again. You know, same old every other time.
Well, I know you're gonna beat Spinny, but I'm coming for you this time.
Didn't I win the championship? The one where we had me, you, and Forbes. We had the winners.
I thought I won that one.
I don't remember.
I thought Mike.
I thought I won it.
Maybe it was Mike. Maybe I'm tripping.
We'll have to check for our Hardies and Hardos. Before we start today, I just want to say, please like, subscribe, share, get this stuff out on socials. Let's pump it up. This is going to be a good CFB episode. We got some fun stuff going for you all today. So, but before that, let's have a word from the Better Jack.
All right, y'all. Let's just get right to it. Let's start with the Big Ten, huh? We might as well start with our very own conference. Last year, we obviously saw two teams in the college football playoff, Michigan and Ohio State. Both made it. Penn State went 11-2. They had a great year. Michigan won the East. Purdue won the West. Michigan dubbed Purdue in the conference championship. They went 5-4 in bowl games this conference, all right? So with all that context, what do we think about this conference heading into this season? I mean, we obviously know that Michigan and Ohio State are going to be some of the best teams in college football once again.
My question is, can anyone from the West have a shot at winning the Big
Ten? No.
No? You don't think Wisco has a realistic shot?
I think Wisco is way overhyped this year.
I agree.
Yeah, big time. It's just a total like schematic change. Everything that we're used to seeing from Wisconsin, where it's play good defense, run the ball, have mammoth O linemen, like they're gonna try to toss the rock around. I mean, they still have Braylon Allen, who hasn't quite lived up to the hype yet. From my perspective, I'm not in on Wisconsin right now. Great coach Luke Fickell's definitely done a lot with those Cincy teams in the past, but this is a like earth-shattering change for Wisconsin, and I don't know if they have the guys to do it in year one.
They even have any pass catchers on that team?
Yeah, they got I forgot where he came. The guy from USC. I think he was like a 4 or 5 star guy, but I don't even know if he's going to play. So we'll see. It's you get all those transfer guys in the mix, and you think it should work. Like on paper, it looks awesome, but I don't know. I don't know if Wisconsin pass catchers are going to be something that you can really rely on. Like it's nothing like Ohio State. I'll tell you that for sure. And
that's for damn sure.
I'd argue Minnesota has one of the top wide receiver rooms, which is a total 360 or 180 from years past, the past couple of years, where it seems like nobody can catch the ball. They finally have some confidence there in their wide receiver.
Tyler Johnson season.
Yeah, since then it's been pretty downhill, but I think they got quite a resurgence this year. But yeah, not Wisconsin, not Iowa. Like those guys, the wide receiver cores there are just not it.
Wisco running the air raid is going to be weird.
Right.
Like, I don't know if that's ever happened. How is Minnesota going to look? Do we have a chance to win the West?
This is it. I mean, this is really it. This is the last year that they're doing divisions in the Big Ten. So It's now or never for the Gophers, and unfortunately, you got a couple things working against you.
Unfortunately, it's never.
Now or never.
Unfortunately, it's they got some things working against them. They have a really tough schedule. You draw
Very
both
tough.
Michigan and Ohio State. You got to go on the road to North Carolina, play one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But yeah, it really comes down to the Greek rifle, Ethan Kaliakmanis, to see how far he can take this team. Like I mentioned before, they have really good wide receivers this year, depending on how far along that chemistry's come. Could be really solid. And then the defense is always going to play well. I think one thing that's really undervalued with the Gophers is just how good that defense is. Every year, Joe Rossi has a solid unit to put out there. And you got Tyler Nubin at the back of that defense. Hopefully nothing gets over the top of him, create some turnovers. Yeah, I think that realistically, I think they could win the West. I just think the schedule is like they need to be really on their game to be able to do it.
Did anyone else in the West even draw both of those teams other than the Ghosts? Because I know like Iowa didn't. I don't think Wisconsin did.
Iowa drew Penn State, and I can't remember who their other crossover, but I'm pretty sure was Iowa drew them last year, I believe, because they had Ohio State last year, and I want to say they played Michigan. I want to say they played both actually last year, Iowa, but I know they played Ohio State. But
Gophers D only returning 5 starters. That doesn't scare you at all?
Not at all, because most of those starters are on the D line. So you lose a starting safety, starting corner to the NFL, and Jordan Howden and Terrell Smith, but you get Justin Wally back, you get Tyler Nubin back, and then the D line, that was the problem last year where they just couldn't get enough pressures. I think they were last in the Big Ten in pressures. So right there, that's where I'm just like, Ja Joyner, Jalen, Logan Redding, those two are big players, and then I'm blanking on the other guy, Danny Strigo. Those are the 3 guys I'm looking at to kind of crank up the pressure. And then there's Devin Eastern, the kid from Shakopee, 4-star recruit. He's a redshirt sophomore now. See if he can get in there, a D tackle, replace Trill Carter, who's now at Texas. So that's Trill Carter is probably the biggest one to replace, both literally and figuratively. But yeah, he hasn't quite lived up to the hype either. I wish him all the best at Texas, but yeah, the D line is where they need just a fresh start. So I think losing four starters there is not a bad thing for this unit.
All right, I'm going to jump to East then a little bit. Ohio State replacing CJ Stroud. Obviously, the wide receiver room is unbelievable.
They haven't announced the QB yet, have they?
Kyle McCord or Devin Brown is kind of the competition. That's what my question was. Do you have one you like more?
It's likely going to be Kyle McCord. I don't see a situation where Devin Brown gets in there, but I don't know. I am undervaluing Ohio State compared to what most people think. Most people think, yep, Ohio State, they always have solid offense. Just plug in a quarterback and they'll figure it out. They're too big to fail. A lot of people think, I don't know. I don't know if Kyle McCord's going to be any good. He sure has all the tools in the world to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be that top 5 college football playoff good this year. And
they still have the defense.
The defense, I mean, the defense improved. It's year 3 under Jim Knowles. So the pressure is on Knowles as the DC, and then Ryan Day. I mean,
right.
You lose to Michigan 3 years in a row. That is a fireable offense in Columbus.
It is, for sure. You cannot lose.
So I don't know if you're going to put it on a freshman quarterback like McCord. That's a big gamble. A lot more pressure on Ohio State with a first-year quarterback. And Michigan, they are a well-oiled machine, on the other side where that's an uphill battle for the Buckeyes.
Let me ask you this. Penn State. Do you think Penn State could finish better than Ohio State?
That's the other thing. So Ryan Day hasn't proven that he can beat Michigan lately. Well, James Franklin hasn't beat either of them. And
right, that's true. That is true.
I definitely have a lot to say about James Franklin and Drew Aller, the quarterback over there, where this kind of feels like they could be their year too. But they have to beat one of them, and they haven't proven it lately. James Franklin's still living off of what was the win 2016 or 2017 where they had the block kick against Ohio State and they've just never beaten anybody since.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. They have to beat one of them. I don't know if they can beat I don't think they can beat both of them, but I think they could steal one of them. I think they get Michigan at home, but they're probably more likely to beat Ohio State on the road, even, I would say, as it's now.
So, and this is going to kind of give away all of our predictions for who's going to win, but is Michigan a college football playoff team in your head?
Yeah, no, I think Michigan's the second best team in the country right now. They always have a solid defense. They have two of the five best running backs in the country in their backfield. You get JJ McCarthy coming back. People like to critique his downfield throwing, but when you have such a solid run game, I don't think that's that big of an issue because they rely so much on the play action, and that's always going to be there for him. So short, quick passes to set up the run when they need to, or otherwise there's going to be running downhill to set up the play action pass downfield. So the world is their oyster, honestly. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you're playing defense against them in a lot of ways.
So I'm just going to give the odds here before we pick quick from FanDuel today. Ohio State plus 165, Michigan plus 180, Penn State plus 600, Wisconsin plus 800, Iowa plus 1,200, and Minnesota plus 2,000. Those are the top six.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm taking Michigan in the East for exactly what Mike just said, especially that duo in the backfield, unreal. In the West, the winner of the East is going to win the Big Ten. So for me, it's Michigan. In the West, I guess I'll take Iowa just because they don't have to play Ohio State or Michigan this year. So I kind of like that. You got teams like the Gophers who we thought this could be their year, and they have to play them both. So there's other teams like that too, obviously, in the West. So that's what I'm going with. Who do y'all got?
I'll leave Mike for last. East, again, I wanted to pick Ohio State. I really did, but it's coach and quarterback. And Michigan actually has a better coach and a better quarterback than Ohio State for like the first time in like ever. And then that's not even talking about, like you both talked about, their two amazing running backs. It's just Michigan has played Ohio State close under Harbaugh, even when they were lesser talented. And now I think they're arguably more talented. So it's hard not to pick them given that. And honestly, Mike convinced me. I'm going to take the Gophers in the West. Wisconsin was my pick going into this pod, but maybe they do have issues with the air raid and that full transition. And I think Braylon Allen's their best offensive player. And it's kind of interesting going to a system that doesn't exactly use his skill set. So that's where we're going to go.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that pick at all. Love the row the boat, baby. But no, I'm with Bus on this one. I like Michigan out of the East. Part of me really wanted to pick Penn State. I really wanted to shake things up. I thought this is kind of their window if they want to do it. But they might be more suited next year with the last year Drew Aller, JJ McCarthy out of the picture, and then who knows what happens at Ohio State with all that wide receiver talent gone. One would think they'd refuel, but I'm at Michigan out of the East, and then I wanted to take like I said, I'm taking Iowa, but I really wanted to take Illinois. I think Illinois is a dark horse that could seriously shake some things up in the West, and they've proven they can hang with the big dogs because Brett Bielema he runs a solid program over there, and they probably have the best D line in the Big Ten. They have two first-round talented D tackles. Jerzon Newton is the big name there, and he just wrecks O-lines, and it's awesome to watch, except when they play the Gophers. Definitely replacing Chase Brown. They got Luke Altmaier at quarterback, who transferred from Ole Miss. He was a former top recruit. Hasn't really seen too much action yet, but they're going to rely heavily on the ground game. They have some wide receiver talent, but that defense is going to keep them in pretty much every game, I think, this year. And I think they get solid home games, but I just think Iowa in the end is they have the schedule this year. They get all their toughest games at home besides going to Penn State for the whiteout. So I'm gonna go with Iowa. It pains me to say it. The Gophers still have not won at Kinnick Stadium this century. So I think it was 19.
Really?
Yeah, this millennium. Yeah, it was literally
Yeah.
1999 the last time they won at Kinnick, and that just
Unreal.
it makes me want to puke saying that. But yep, I got Michigan over Iowa. So
And we're both taking Michigan, boss. Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Easily.
The last thing I want to say there is, so all right, Michigan's won 3 straight Big Ten titles then at that rate. Can they get off the schneid? Can they win a college football playoff game, contend for a national title? That's, I think, the thing. They've done it now back-to-back years and just gotten kind of outclassed by Georgia and then TCU, who they probably should have beat, but they didn't show up when it mattered. So now the pressure gets cranked up again on Harbaugh.
Agreed.
Damn right it does.
Agreed. All right.
All right, we're going to jump to the Big 12.
The new look Big 12.
Yes, the new look Big 12. As we all know, TCU made it to the title game last year and got absolutely rated through 65-7. Shout out to them for their season, though. They went 2-7 in bowl games in total. This conference did. And K-State is your defending conference champion. They beat TCU in the conference championship game. Like Mike says, new look. We added Cincinnati, BYU, Houston, and UCF. Next year, they add Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Arizona State, and obviously Oklahoma and Texas are leaving after this season. And they are debating on going divisions next year. They haven't had divisions for a long, long time. Now with all these teams they have, they might go divisions next year. So, again, what are your thoughts going into this year? I feel like this is kind of a weaker conference this year. Am I wrong by saying that, Mike?
It's really top heavy. I agree with that. But can we just take a second? This conference is going to be awesome for basketball. Arizona and Kansas playing every year. Can you imagine? I know we'll get back to football, but man, I'm excited for that.
No, that's going to be so lit, actually. I didn't even think about that. AZ. What are our thoughts here, though? Texas? I mean, I think this might be their year, honestly. I know I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll keep talking, but that's my pick. I'm picking Texas this year, honestly.
Are we going to finally see Quinn Ewers put it together for a whole year?
That's what I'm banking on. That's what I'm banking on.
That's what you're banking on? I mean, it's hard to go away from them, especially given what Oklahoma looked like last year and what Brett Venables looked like last year. Are we confident in him as their coach? Also, can we not give up 6.1 yards per carry given up by Oklahoma's defense last year? Unreal. So it's like, and if it's not them, I don't know. I don't have a ton of Kansas State faith either, unless Will Howard ends up being something more than we think he is. They have a really good old line, so that should make it easier for him. But what do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I like Texas. I think this is a make or break year for Texas.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of pressure on Quinn Ewers with Arch Manning waiting in the wing. I mean, Texas fans are anything but reasonable, but I hope they can keep Arch on the shelf this year and just don't meddle with it. Give Quinn Ewers his chance. I mean, before Arch came along, Quinn was the best QB prospect since recruiting rankings existed. Yeah. So, I mean, he deserves his fair shot, a full season. Keep Arch on the shelf till next year. But Sark has a tough job to do here, because could you imagine a world where OAU and Texas both go to the go to the SEC and they have to start with new coaches in year one because Venables doesn't get the job done and gets canned, and Texas, just runs out of patience with Sark, and that is not a crazy alternate reality. Like that legitimately could happen if both of those teams or one of those teams doesn't win 8-9 games this year. And I think for Texas, they probably got to win 10 games and make it to the conference championship game, which I think they do. They have plenty of talents. They loaded up that defense. So we'll see. I think that they need a statement victory against Alabama, which catching Bama early in the year might be good for them, because they're sorting their own issues out, which we'll get to later. But yeah, versus Texas, I like K-State to get back to the Big 12 championship game. I think Will Howard is that guy.
You do.
I think he is that guy. Last year, I saw it up close in person at the Big 12 championship game. I did not expect that from K-State, and they proved me. They made me a believer there, and I think that Will Howard probably is a candidate for Big 12 Player of the Year if Quinn Ewers isn't everything we ever thought he'd be. So he'll be right there waiting in the wing to take his 5 minutes of fame. So yeah, we got Texas over Kansas State.
I'm taking Texas over Kansas State as well. I don't have faith in Brett Venables. I think Brett Venables will be fired after the year. I think Oklahoma wins like 7 or 8 games, and it's not what they want, and they're going to go in with something new in the SEC. Is there a chance anybody wins other than these 3? Anybody makes the conference championship other than these 3?
Man, yeah. So I literally only thought Kansas State and Texas. You could say BYU has an outside shot. You could say UCF has an outside shot. UCF, well-coached team. I think they have a pretty tough schedule this year. And then maybe don't knock TCU. Obviously, they lose their quarterback to the NFL.
But Chandler
Morris was the guy who started last season, right? So, you plug him in. He's a highly rated recruit.
What other weapons do they have, though? Because obviously they lost Johnston and Kendre Miller as well.
Yep. So they lost their top 2 guys there.
They loaded up in the portal, though. They got 3 or 4 transfers, 2 skill positions and 2 defensive, 2 corners. So they loaded up. That's how they tried to replace weapon-wise there.
Yeah, that defense, I think, will take a step back this year. And remember, they took a lot of crazy comebacks. They had to put up a lot of points. That defense was not that great last year. They made plays when it mattered. They got pressure on the quarterback. And I think outside of that, that kind of covered up a lot of their problems in the secondary, in my opinion.
I like it.
Are we good on the Big 12? You guys have any thoughts here?
Man, I'm just trying to think of other teams. What?
I think it's so top heavy, like you said earlier, Mike. I mean, other than
Oklahoma State, you got to throw them in there,
right? Yeah, I guess.
I'm so out on Oklahoma, but OSU, Oklahoma State could be a wild card.
Yeah,
if you're looking for another contender, who knows what? They're just a well coached program. They've kind of been down. They lost Spencer Sanders. They don't really know what they're going to do at quarterback, so that makes me feel iffy. But they could definitely cause some havoc there. And then there's some people that are saying don't sleep on Texas Tech.
Yep.
So
odds, Big 12 winning odds right now: Texas plus 100, Oklahoma plus 420, Kansas State plus 500, Texas Tech plus 1100, and Baylor plus 1900. Those are the top 5. So I think Vegas backs this up. It's Texas's conference to lose.
All right, let's jump to the ACC then. So last year, at least, last season, I should say, was the weakest because every team had at least 3 losses, and 10 of the 14 schools had at least 5 losses. So a lot of losses in this conference. We obviously had Clemson win the Atlantic. UNC won the Coastal, and then Clemson beat UNC for the Ship. They've won 7 of the last 8 years. Do we think their dominance is kind of ending, or are they going to be top of this conference once again? I feel like UNC is going to be in the mix again, right? Just because of Drake May. I mean, if you're that elite of a quarterback, he'll help you be in the mix. I know they have questions all over the team, but yeah, I just feel like a dude that talented in college football, you're probably going to win a lot of games just because he's on your team.
Right. That's the story of this conference, in my opinion. It's Drake May versus Jordan Travis at Florida State. And it's
Florida State,
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not in on Cade Klubnik. I think this is kind of – Clemson will probably get to the ACC championship this year, but I think this is the year the run ends. I got Florida State winning over Clemson.
Nice.
If you want to talk about the most fascinating team in college football this year, it is the Florida State Seminoles.
Agreed. Weapon factory right now.
Yeah. It is crazy. So, yeah, probably the 2 most talented players in the league. So they got Jordan Travis, and then on defense, you got Jared Verse and those two guys have enough star power for an entire conference, and much less they're on the same team. And then I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the Michigan State wide receiver transferred in the spring. His name's eluding me right now, but
the two wide receivers top their depth chart I had were Keenan Coleman and Johnny Wilson.
Keon Coleman, yeah, that's him. That's the one. And yeah, so he was like the only bright spot for Michigan State last year. Yeah, he's a beast this year. They have two really solid wide receivers. But it's a lot and it's really fast. That's a lot of hype to come, and we're slowly building, and then we're just seeing a spike. So the first 4 games for this Florida State team is going to be key. You start out week 1 against LSU, and I believe that game is in Orlando. So it's a neutral site, but home game for Florida State. If they win that, the hype is real. The natty or bust talk begins there. And then in week 4, they play Clemson at Clemson. And if they win both of those games, you can pretty much book them into the college football playoff. I think every other team has a chance at getting them, but I don't think they lose 2 more games if they win those 2. If they can get out of there with 1 loss.
And their defense is so good. 20 points a game last year. Well, best in the ACC, second best in the ACC. And then they added the Virginia corner, Fentrell Cypress, who was an absolute demon last year. So that's just another guy on the back end of a defense that's already good. So it should be. I don't know. I'm picking FSU. I really am. I think it's Florida State over Clemson.
So I have to be that guy then.
Pick them then.
I'll take Clemson. I'll be the one who takes Clemson then.
Take Cade Klubnik. Take him up.
He steps up more than you guys think he will.
Come on.
Continues. They have the best defense in the conference. They have studs all over back there. The run continues. 8 of 9, it will be Clemson is going to win.
Oh, hey!
Even though I'm not saying I'm cheering for that. I actually would rather see Florida State, but I pick Clemson. I'm not going to switch up.
Does the winner of the ACC get to the college football playoff?
Not if they have 2 losses.
Clemson, yeah.
1 loss. They got to have to 1 loss.
1 loss, yeah, probably. But 2 losses, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just a weird thing to me, because I'm like, all right, Clemson and FSU play week 4. They could easily be playing again in the conference title, where one of them gets the revenge, and then you have a 2-loss team. Like, I don't. It gets messy. I don't know if there's one team that could run the table in that conference and get out of there with 1 loss.
Yeah, I mean, especially like you could have the FSU situation where you lose to LSU, and then you got to pretty much beat Clemson twice. So it's like, I don't know. It could be wild.
They could be. So yeah, that's where. And yeah, I don't know. I've just been out on Clemson for a while now. Yeah, I think they're on the downhill turn, and it would take something.
I feel like that was kind of the talk going into last year too, though. I feel like
and what did they do? They won the ACC, but they got
they won the ACC.
They were the number 4 team in the country. They went up to South Bend and got absolutely destroyed by Notre Dame, and that basically ended their season. If the ACC wasn't mid, like, they even won every game after that, but it's like, you guys have 2 losses, so yeah, you're out. You won the ACC, a mediocre conference, like, so cool. Like, I'm so out on I've been so like turned off by Clemson ever since they got thumped in the playoff against Ohio State with Justin Fields, and I was just fun. It's over, man. I was like, that was Trevor Lawrence's last freaking college game, and they've not been the same since.
Current odds: Clemson plus 150, Florida State plus 170. And then it's a huge drop off. Carolina plus 1,100, Louisville plus 1,400.
Hey, maybe sprinkle that UNC plus 1,100. I mean, that defense is atrocious. I think that the Gophers will even put up numbers on them on the road. But yeah, I mean, like you say, if Drake May is truly a Heisman candidate, he could be taking them to the ACC championship. I don't think people would bat an eye too crazy. So plus 1,100, good value.
Yeah, not terrible. Plus, UNC lost their offensive coordinator. So I'm a little concerned about how Drake May is going to look in the new look offense they're going to be running.
Yep. Yep.
So, any other team? No Miami, no Mario Cristobal magic.
No.
No.
That was
No.
after how disgusting last year was. I don't think I can trust him, and I don't know if Tyler Van Dyke's the guy everyone he was sold to be. You know.
Yeah, agreed. All right, I think that's it for the ACC. Unless we got something else to add.
It's time for me to kick y'all's ass in some trivia, man. Come on. Let's hear from Jack again. Okay. Question for you guys. I'm in the middle of a dynasty chat. Listeners, you're going to have to comment your thoughts once we come to a conclusion here. I need a quarterback. I want your two opinion. Geno Smith, Jared Goff, Kenny Pickett, and Jordan Love are your top options on a team. This is a dynasty league. Mike, what do you think? Spinny, you're muted.
I hate every single one of them, honestly. I don't want.
So do I.
But
I kind of need one.
Will
Yeah,
you
I
want to
mean-
win now or not? Because Goff and Geno are going to be good for like plus or minus 1.5 years. So you might get 2 out of them, but within 2 years, they're probably gone for somebody else. Or you take a risk on one of those other two and end up with jackwagon crap, maybe.
Right. I hate that. I hope this is your backup quarterback. I mean, this is
Backup.
disgusting.
This is my third quarterback.
Oh,
But
then
Oh,
absolutely.
One of my-
Shot on a rook.
Then I got to take Jordan Love, right?
Yeah.
Take Jordan Love and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's
Or do I
that's the only
take
way to
Brandon
go.
Ayuk?
Why are you taking 3 QBs?
Yeah, why do you need 3? What round are you in?
Fine.
Are you in like the 5th round?
Super flex should have prefaced. Plus,
Oh.
I drafted Kyler as one of my first 2, so I need somebody.
Jordan Love. Jordan
Jordan.
Love. Because he's gonna play. Yeah, and he's gonna play and he's gonna get his
We
chance.
took the shot. All right, let's play trivia now. I'll
go
ask
first.
first. No, me.
Okay.
Okay. Spinny's favorite type of. Oh, now we're over here. Okay.
Yep.
Spinny, I chose your favorite type of trivia questions for this week.
What does that mean?
The who am I questions.
Oh,
You always get so mad when I do these. Okay.
these are dumb.
They're awesome. I am a QB in the Pac-12 whose college is going to the Big Ten next year, even though I won't be on the team anymore. Who am I?
I
feel
got
like
it.
There's 2 options for that.
I got it. All right, Spinny.
It's the easy question. You
Answer
should-
when you're ready.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
Couldn't
Correct.
Michael Penix have counted for that as well, though?
But good thing he's not coming to the Big Ten.
Really? Isn't Washington?
Oh, no,
Big Ten?
They did just join, huh?
Yeah, so that's tough.
That's
Yeah,
tough.
but he's gone. He's gone. So,
Exactly. That's
Whatever.
the exact thing.
Whatever, dude.
We would have accepted it, is what
All
else.
All right, just making sure.
They're going next year, though?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. I believe I don't know if they're coming next year with them.
See, I thought it was
I don't know if it was
only
in separate
UCLA.
wave, if they're coming in
Yeah.
25 or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
That's why. Yeah, okay.
They were very
Okay.
loose on the. It all happened so quick. They didn't really
Literally.
specify.
Literally.
All right, who's
You
next?
Who
guys
do you-
both got a
Who
point.
do your Minnesota Golden Gophers football team play in the first game of the season this year?
Oh man, these are layups.
Bus isn't going to get this wrong, though.
I have literally no idea. I never looked at Gopher
Yeah.
schedule one time.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. Answer up.
I'm assuming it's a school of the blind somewhere.
It's a layup for Mike, though. I mean, you could call it a school of the blind, really.
Is it a mid major?
No,
No.
that's
It's a
your
Power
only
5
hint.
school.
That's your only
Yes.
hint. No mid major.
Well, let's just go Washington State.
Great guess. It's the
Tell
Nebraska
me what it is.
Cornhuskers. It's a conference game. Yeah,
We started the conference game, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Second, or I guess twice in 3 years now.
Huh. I didn't know.
I'm
that was
off to a
thing.
commanding lead. All right, my easy question is: which college has the most Heisman winners?
Alabama. Final answer.
Alabama.
Incorrect. It is Oklahoma
What?
with 7.
Wow.
I thought that would be. I mean, because there's a decent amount of recency bias to that. I mean,
Yeah.
they had Kyler, Sam Bradford. I thought that was.
I thought that was good.
If you guys didn't get that one,
That's fine.
you guys are fucked for the next 2. Sorry, guys.
Sick.
I'm already at 0 points. Oh gosh,
Love
this
it.
might be a long one. My medium question, Spinny. Like I said, they're all the who am I's. I was top 5 in rushing in the country last season, and I just got drafted by the Titans. Who am I?
I got it.
I knew Mike was gonna get it right away. Dang it, dude! I should have tried something different. I knew Mike was gonna get this instantly, and I knew you would struggle with it.
Wait, when did you say? Did you say when he was drafted, or did you just say he was drafted?
He was drafted.
Is it a gopher?
I'm second guessing myself now. I thought I knew it. I'm totally second guessing myself. It's a medium question, so I don't think it's a layup like that. But the name that's on my mind might be, yeah. I think I got it though.
Really?
Let's go, Spinny. I'm gonna roll with my knee jerk reaction regardless. So,
Spinny, what's your guess?
You I get no hint here. I can't get anything. Power 5. Can I get that hint?
It's Power 5 team. Actually, I don't think he did play at a Power 5 school.
okay, if it's not Power 5, I'm definitely right.
I can't.
Definitely got it.
I can't remember what school he played at, but I do believe it was not Power 5.
Okay.
Do I have to give his first name? Because I can't remember this guy's first name right now. I don't know if I'm right.
All right. If you say it and I say the first name, you only get a half. If
You
I
can get 1 point if you say the last name.
Yeah.
It's the UAB running back. His last name is McBride. I think it's Dwayne, but I don't know if that's right or not. So
That's a good guess.
I'm gonna say Dwayne McBride.
That is his name. He's a Vikings running back. But
He's
the
drafted
guy
by
I
the
was thinking,
Vikings, not the Titans.
the guy, yeah, the guy I was thinking of, Ty J. Spears.
Correct.
Let's go. The second you said top 5 in rushing and drafted, I was like, if it's medium, there's no way it's Blake Corum. Or I thought you were gonna say a guy coming back and it was gonna be Blake Corum. But nah.
And Mo was undrafted, Spinny, for your. I knew
That's
you were
right.
thinking about Mo. He went undrafted, so.
And then the Air Force guy. That's the other guy I was thinking about.
He was 1, yeah. But McBride was 2, and Mo was 3.
Ooh.
All right. Preseason poll. Only team other than Notre Dame that is not in a Power 5 conference in the top 25 preseason poll.
Ooh.
I actually just looked at the rankings today too. I should know this.
Wait, did you say not in the Power 5 or did you say independent?
I said not in the Power 5
Okay.
other than Notre Dame. So I excluded Notre Dame from that.
I got my answer.
Man. Wow. Who is good? You gotta calm me down at some point, Ben.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I don't know. Let's just go UAB. I don't know.
Mike?
The Tulane Green Wave.
Mike's kicking our ass.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Wow.
Are you 4 for 4?
I don't think I've missed a question yet. Yeah.
Mike is 4 for 4.
All right.
This is nuts.
This one might be easier for you than my first question, but I've
Jeez.
interestingly so. Which university has the most unanimous All-Americans?
This is a hard question, huh?
This is a medium.
Medium one, yeah.
Oh. All right.
Man. Say the question again.
Most unanimous All-Americans.
Which
Most
university
unanimous.
has the most unanimous All-Americans? I mean, just think about the top. I mean, the Blue Bloods. I mean, that's your hint.
Yeah. I have a guess. Spinny?
Stay true to your heart, boss.
I'm going to say that team that's going to be wrong. So,
University of Alabama.
Alabama, I'm rocking them again.
Good job, guys. Don't
Let's
overthink
go.
it. Alabama, 40 unanimous All-Americans.
That is a couple, yeah. Wow. Okay, my hard question.
Can you give us a score update so we can be embarrassed by Mike?
Mike has beaten both of us combined. He has 7 points. You have 3. I have 2.
Let's go.
Sweet. We love it. And he's going to get this one, too. I already know it. Hard question.
My hard question too.
I am a wide receiver, and I was drafted by an NFL team in the same city as my college team. I hope this applies to only this dude, because that would suck.
Yeah, what if it applies to more than this dude?
Was he a
Well,
first
if
round?
you
When do we know like when this guy was drafted?
Yeah, can we get a little?
that might be too much of a hint, I feel like.
Oh, never mind. I got it. Almost
Same
overthought this
city.
one. Same city. Almost overthought that one.
That is actually a hint in itself, Mike saying that, honestly.
Ooh.
Watch, now Mike's going to say a different name, and he's going to be right because it's going to be a dude that actually is playing in the same city. And I'm just an idiot.
I'm gonna say Tank Dell.
Good job, Spinny. Tank Dell.
Tank
University of
Dell
Houston.
went to Houston and plays for the Houston Texans. Good job, both of you. Good job.
Let's go, baby.
I knew I should have made them harder. When I was writing these questions, I was like, he's going to get all 3 of these questions 100%.
I don't even have a shot. I'm still down. I'm bound by too many to even have a shot.
No, you're out. Yeah,
Frick.
I'm already out. Mike wins. He can just rack up the score at this point.
Let's go.
Actually,
It's this one.
if Mike gets this question, it is the best round of trivia in hard-headed sports history.
Ooh,
And this is very gettable. Also, if you listen to the Al Travis show this morning, you will 100% get this question correct because I talked about it for a long time on the show. That's tough. How many votes did the University of Minnesota get to be in the top 25 in the AP poll? We got votes. How many votes did we get?
I got it.
I got it too.
Really? Go.
Mine's just a guess. You said votes. I'm throwing out a number. So of course I got something right away. 3.
It is 3.
It is not 3.
What?
It is 6.
All right. You better fact check if Mike has that reaction.
6. I will pull it up for you. See if we can get a little zoom in here.
Wait, hold on. Did you say coaches or AP?
I said AP.
Okay.
Coaches is 3. The coaches is more, I think, but AP poll right here, Hardies and Hardos, Minnesota, 6.
6. Whatever, spin, dude.
We're scrolling to the top. Oh, no, we're not scrolling to the top. But that is the AP poll. You'll have to trust me. If you don't, sorry, not sorry. But 6 votes. I know we're all fact checking me right now, but
No, I'm not fact checking you. I'm just
Dude, I gotta send this to you because I was literally looking at the Reddit college football. They post out the list of
everyone
of all the people and who their affiliation school is or who they write for. And then I was just like, okay. So I just went and did a quick count. I only saw 3, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to.
So it might be points. That might be the thing. I don't know if like that is votes or if that is like if there's a point system.
Yeah.
That should have been.
Wow.
Yeah, we might as well just
Up
get
for
all
debate.
3 points. We better just get the points, Spinny. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Whatever.
Oh, so close.
Whatever.
All right.
I do want to ask my hard question just to see what you guys are made of. Who was the last All-American quarterback from the University of Minnesota?
Oh my God.
His name is listed in the Ring of Honor at Huntington Bank Stadium. If you've ever paid attention that closely.
Spinny, if you have a guess, go ahead, man. I have 0 guesses, dude. Because it's gonna be someone from so long ago. It's gotta be.
Is it?
Maybe not, actually. Maybe I'm just tripping.
Like, I feel like we're missing one that was good. That might not have been that long ago.
I seriously don't have a guess, dude. I take my L.
See, I can't even like name a quarterback. That's the thing. Like, I'm literally trying to
That's what I'm
think
saying.
like a quarterback. Oh my goodness.
That's why I just took the L. I can't even name one. Well, I can, but I obviously know Tanner Morgan's not the answer.
Yeah, I have no idea. I bet you it's in the 60s. Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
Tell us.
Sandy Stevens.
Played when?
1961 was the year he was
Yes,
an
I knew that
All-American. Dude, no, the only reason I was thinking about that for like hard is I was like, remember that time Spinny just asked the question of like, who's a Twins player that like died or something like that, or got murdered or something?
Yeah.
You guys should have known that one. Come on.
That was like the most ridiculously hard question. And so when I was putting these together right before we got on, I was thinking of that moment. I was like, nah, fuck these guys. I'm making it hard as hell.
Yep. For real.
Let's
my
go.
God.
There it is. Mike, 10 points.
10 points,
Does
man.
that get him back in the all-time lead? It's got to be close.
Nah, he's
Man,
not
I don't
in the
know.
lead.
Forbes is elite
Yeah.
at trivia. Plus, he throws those soccer questions at you, so you just know he's gonna catch a dub.
He is now at 29 points. Forbrook has 36, and Brendan is third for our guest at 24 points.
Ooh, we got a real fight going on now, though.
Yep, we do. We do. Most points in a game. Actually, it was 11. Yep. He was off by 1.
Wow,
So close.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about my little thing under my name over there that I can't think of the name of it right now.
Headline.
Headline? Is that really what it's called? Jeez.
Isn't that what they just call it? The headline, man. Yeah.
The headline.
Exactly.
Is this going to be the best year of the Pac-12 for football that we've seen?
It might be. They have so much
quarterbacks.
talent.
Yeah.
Yes, loaded with quarterbacks this year.
Unreal.
So they are saving the best for last. Best for last.
I guess.
And that was my other question. So do you think this is the most teams in a conference that have a legitimate shot to win it? Like a realistic shot?
Absolutely.
Because I think there's
deep.
I think there's 6 teams with a realistic shot.
You said 6?
Yeah.
I also have 6. What 6 do you got?
USC,
Yep.
Oregon,
Yep.
Washington,
Yep.
Utah,
Yep.
UCLA,
Agree.
and Oregon State.
Yep. That was 6 I had written on.
And all of them are plus 1,200 or better. USC plus 200, Washington plus 320, Oregon plus 340, Utah plus 550, UCLA 1,000, and OSU plus 1,200. So,
what other QBs do we got? We got Caleb Williams, Michael Penix,
Cam Rising, and Bo Nix is back again.
That's the highlight. Is there any other big names I'm forgetting of? Because
then there's
just
Oregon.
Having those 4 is
crazy.
Oregon
State is an interesting one too. They have DJ Uiagalelei transferred in. They don't even know if he's going to win. He transferred to Oregon State.
And we don't know that. Wow.
They don't even know if like he's going to win the starting job. Like they have another guy that's stepped in and competing with them, and that's where I think like Oregon State could like they don't have a bunch of names, but they run the ball well and they play really good defense. So like they could muck some things up, especially up there in the north side of the Pac-12, which is there's no more divisions. So that's pretty sweet for us as well. Utah won 2 straight. That's awesome.
Yep.
They have a gauntlet of a schedule this year. They play USC, Oregon, and Washington all in a 4-week span, and 2 of them are on the road. I can't remember which one's which, but like that right there, just I think kind of writes them off for me. Where it's like
And
that's
how's Cam Rising doing from the ACL? Is he like back? I haven't looked at any updates from him.
yeah. It
Is he
seems
gonna
it
be
seems
ready?
like he's ready to roll, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. They start with Florida and then they go to Baylor. So while those teams aren't like super exciting, super sexy teams, like they're still Power 5 opponents you got to play to start the year, non-conference. And yeah, if he's not a fully on 100% ready to go, like Utah is in trouble. It's gonna be very hard for them to defend the crown this year.
No, I agree. Who are we taking?
Spinny started off.
This is tough. This is really tough because it's going to take some type of improvement from one of these teams. If Washington's defense is respectable, even, I think their offense is going to be so unbelievable that it's going to be tough. If we get prime Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams, I mean, I don't know if anybody really has a shot if they can put that thing together like they did last year because the defense is going to be better. So I'm going to take Washington. I think the defense, they got a couple of secondary transfers in. I think the defense makes enough improvement that they upset USC and make it happen.
I have the same thoughts. I'm taking Washington too.
What?
I am. They had one of the best offenses in all of football last year. Top 5 in the country in scoring. If, like you said, if that defense can take steps forward, I don't see how they're not going to be the most complete team, honestly.
I like those picks. I couldn't get myself to take Washington.
So USC, Utah, Oregon.
I ruled out Utah. I have my championship game, Oregon versus USC. I want to first, give USC their flowers. Caleb Williams is the first legitimate dog to have a shot at winning back-to-back Heisman since Tim Tebow.
Facts.
And who's going to stop him? So the question is, it's very hard to follow up a Heisman season. Very few people have done it well. I think Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley are the duo to do it. I think a lot of times the coach is just as important as the player.
Are you just throwing this out here, by the way? Or is this your pick? Is this your Heisman pick?
No, not ready to throw it out there. But I will say, like, he's a threat. Like, he's a threat to win back-to-back more than anyone I've seen since Tebow.
Do you have Kalen DeBoer faith or not? Just curious. Because that was my biggest holdback on Washington as well, was can this guy coach in big games? Right. We've seen Lincoln Riley coach in big games and be unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it's TBD. That's part of what shied me away from Washington. He's done some great things, but again, like, I think, like, some of his biggest wins, like they gave him his flowers so early last year when they beat the piss out of Michigan State when they were still ranked, but then they were like 5-7 on the year. So I was like, ooh. But yeah, I got USC playing Oregon, and Oregon is super interesting. I remember sitting here this time last year and laughing at Spinny for picking Bo Nix as his player to watch.
I did too.
And I could not have been more wrong about Bo Nix. He's definitely changed his game up. He's shown himself as more of a runner. He's still got an arm. He's a little wily at times. But the one that really just pains my heart to see be super successful is Bucky Irving, who former Gopher, was very talented, and now he's first team preseason All Pac-12. He's taking the reins. So between Bucky and Bo, Oregon's going to have a super talented team this year. I don't know where to go with this one. Who's going to win? I want to say Oregon. I think that with Dan Lanning at the helm, they got the quarterback coming back. There's just something about USC that just tells me they're going to crap out. Like they're going to get back to the Pac-12 championship game, and they're just not going to be all there. And I think that defense still worries me. The Alex Grinch-led defense, I can't believe that Lincoln Riley's kept him along this long as DC. because they've had trash defenses dating back to their days in Oklahoma. And I don't know if that gets any better. Whereas Oregon, I feel a little bit more confident in their defense with a defensive head coach and just got some dudes on offense that are going to put up some points for you when you need it. So I like Oregon. Obviously, biggest game of the year in this conference, Oregon versus Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Mark your calendars.
Also, biggest concern I had with Oregon is they're replacing 4 offensive line starters from last year, and we've seen what happens to Bo Nix under pressure. Like, if we're talking about biggest weakness for him, it's definitely pressure in his face. And I mean, you could probably make that argument for 95% of quarterbacks, but Bo, especially in his face pressure, struggles a lot, and I just worry about that for them and his ability to get it to all those ridiculous skill guys to have.
Right on. Yeah, so October 14th, probably the biggest day of the Pac-12. It's also my birthday.
Ooh.
You have Oregon at Washington, and then you have USC in a non-conference game at Notre Dame on October 14th.
Okay.
That could be the biggest day of the year for this conference.
That is wild. All right. Should we finish it off with the boys?
The boys, huh?
Where all the ships come from. Like, I hate calling them the boys. I'd like to see the Big Ten get a ship or two, but
not the boys, the men. The men, yes.
Talk about it.
Well, we all know Georgia. They won 2 titles in a row or something crazy like that. They're really good.
Who's the best
team
really
in the SEC, football, I guess. Huh?
Who's the best team in the SEC, Bus?
This year?
Yeah.
See, this is why, like, I don't know how much you want me to participate in this conversation. Am I ever going to pick anyone other than Alabama?
You don't have a quarterback. You don't have a quarterback.
Don't care.
What do you mean don't care?
Who's going to play? Who's it going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a quarterback battle. Who do you think it's going to be? Is it Jalen Milroe? Is it Tyler Buckner? If it's Tyler Buckner, good freaking luck. You're not winning more than 9 games this year.
That's your man's or your former man's. I hope it's Milroe. Like, if he can win the starting job, then I'll feel a little more confident. I don't really have any faith in Simpson or in Buckner, honestly.
Well, then Simpson. Here we go, Simpson.
The real question is, Spinny, is anyone going to unseat Georgia? That's the real question that we need to talk about.
I mean,
because yes, they lose studs, obviously, but they always lose studs. What was preseason poll again? Were they 1 or what?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's happening again. They have 4 teams, I would say, that are competing for this conference title: Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU. All 4 of those teams are ranked in top 12 to start the year, and 3 of them are in the top 5. So,
yeah, I mean, 3-peats are real hard to do, though. I will say
for sure,
exceedingly hard to do.
I'm not saying I meant like just unseat from the SEC, not necessarily are they going to win it all again.
Yeah, are they going to even get to Atlanta though? Like with Alabama, like that's my question. Like that schedule's tough. You don't get through the SEC. The only team that gets a cupcake through the SEC is Georgia in the SEC East. Which tell me why, but Missouri is in the SEC East for some reason. They are the westernmost team in the SEC currently.
The SEC East has not commonly had more than one good team in like the last 25 years.
It's been Florida or Georgia. And then there's 1 year of South Carolina or Missouri. Tennessee, and that's where it's like they're like an 8-4 team that just puts their head on a chopping block for Alabama to get steamrolled.
Yep, literally.
So, I don't know. I mean, Bus, I gotta hear. You know, you're picking Alabama. Who are they playing? Are they playing Georgia? Are they gonna beat Georgia? That's what you're saying?
I just can't pick against Georgia, right? Like there's just
so you're taking Georgia over Bama? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I just meant that division. Sorry, that division.
Oh, okay.
No way anyone other than Georgia wins that division.
Say it so we can clip it. Say it so we can clip it.
Say it.
The Alabama Crimson Tide will be your 2023-2024 SEC champions, as they will beat Georgia by at least 2 touchdowns. I even threw that in there.
Wow, that's hot.
Mic drop.
You want to hear something hotter, though? I don't even have Bama in my SEC championship game.
Amen.
Alabama is losing the SEC West to LSU. LSU is winning the SEC West. And then
isn't LSU favored more anyways? So I wouldn't say that's really a hot take.
Alabama plus to win the whole conference. Alabama plus 300, LSU plus 460, Tennessee plus 1500, and A&M plus 2000. Georgia is minus 110. So I think Jaden Daniels is going to do better in Brian Kelly's offense this year. I think that's going to make their whole situation.
With that statement.
I think that's going to make them look better. LSU's front seven on defense is going to be very good again. They had a lot of turnover in the secondary, so I'm a little concerned about that. But I think LSU finally has a coach who can coach with Nick Saban and get at least on. I'm not saying Nick Saban's obviously better, obviously the greatest college coach.
I get what you're saying.
But I'm saying that Brian Kelly is a top coach in college football and definitely on that level. And LSU is close to the talent level of Alabama this year. And I just got to pick against them. I like Brian Kelly. I think it's going to happen this year. LSU.
Alabama does get that game at home.
Georgia over LSU.
Okay. Holy moly.
Sorry.
Holy moly. I was going to say. Mike, what are you thinking?
I mean, it feels like similar to Clemson, Alabama kind of hanging on by a thread here. Kind of feels like that dynasty might be sinking.
Oh man, I don't know. Don't be saying that. It's gonna come back and haunt you.
This might be on freezing cold. Mike's setting himself up for freezing cold takes a little bit.
Hey, I don't know. Bustler just said Bama's going to beat Georgia by 2 touchdowns in the SEC championship.
This segment is going to be roast
gold. Yeah, clip this.
That might have been bad. That might have been bad. But my only point is, who was that bro who literally said their dynasty is over when Saban was literally sitting right next to him? It's the dude with darker hair, younger looking. Did you guys ever even see that?
No,
they were talking about college football. They were talking about this was during the college football playoff. They had Saban up there as one of the analysts.
David Pollack. David Pollack.
There you go.
He's the Georgia guy who conveniently has been fired by ESPN since then, or let go. Sorry, they're making cutbacks.
Saban had some sort of demon look in his eye when he said that. Man, I don't know. I just feel like that's all Saban needs.
Yeah, well, there's a chance that this goes sour really quick for Alabama, and I think that this might be the most desperate college football game played this year is Texas versus Alabama on September 9th. Because Texas needs that one. Texas needs a signature win. Bama needs to get back on track. Bama can't afford to lose that game at home. They should win. Alabama is a 7-point favorite at home right now, currently. If I'm going to bet that today, I'm taking Texas. And I'm taking the over in that game, too. I don't know who's playing quarterback for Bama, but I'm going over on that. They played in a slugfest last year, but yeah, I don't know. I like LSU out of the West. Ole Miss is a dark horse. Ole Miss is my dark horse. I think that they have a chance to sneak in there. I think they're the team that slips in if it gets really muddy. Like, say, Alabama, like they get in a 3, like everyone just beats up each other, and they get a little 3-way standoff there. That Ole Miss could slip in. But with that said, I don't see anyone running the table and going through undefeated in the West of the SEC. And then it's like, who's going to take down Georgia? So my SEC champ game is similar to Spinny. I got LSU and I got Georgia. And yeah, I got Georgia winning. But man, do I love to play devil's advocate because so Tennessee had that big win last year against Alabama at home. Then they went on the road to Georgia, got slaughtered. This year, it's the reverse. They get Georgia coming to them. If they beat Georgia in Knoxville, we could be the same thing as last year for Tennessee, where they have a chance, they have a window. Obviously, things went downhill at the end of the year. Last year, they went 10-2, but I'm super amped up. Probably my most intriguing player in all of college football is Joe Milton. I think if you plug him into the NFL right now, he has one of the top 5 strongest arms. Needs to figure out some accuracy issues, obviously, but he looked elite in that Orange Bowl last year. I think they can, make some waves, contend with Georgia. If Georgia has a loss on their regular season schedule, that is it in Knoxville when they have to take the trip out there. But yeah, it's not sexy. I'm kind of going chalky there. Georgia over LSU. But man, I would love to see Tennessee break through. I think that's on my wish list, that's the top of it. Like, if anyone's going to take down Georgia and not allow them to repeat, it's got to be Tennessee.
Quick pause from our SEC talk. Break the news, Bus. Break it up. Come on. Yeah, you have to. Break the news.
That's all you, brother. I'm not saying it.
Pitcher Shane McClanahan from the Tampa Bay Rays is getting Tommy John surgery on Monday, out for a year. Our friendly neighborhood Fetty Buss decided to trade for him. What, 1 week before? 1 week before.
1 week, you say, huh? Try one singular day. It wasn't even 24 hours later. I traded for this man on a Monday night at about 8 p.m. He pitched the next day in an afternoon game, left the game in the 4th inning. I had him for less than 24 hours. I traded a 3rd and a 4th next year. Wow.
That's
one of the best pitchers in the league done. Okay, back to the SEC. I think Texas A&M could be the sneaky team to make it in the West.
Nope.
Honestly. Bobby Petrino taking over play calling situation from Jimbo Fisher, which was honestly sus last year and like wild at some points. They have 3 good receivers, maybe the best receiving core in the SEC. Like it could be an argument made there with Anais Smith and Evan Stewart and Moose Muhammad, bunch of kings there. And they have a 5-star running back as well.
You always be talking up A&M, dude, and they never do shit. Stop it.
Here's the thing. I was just making the point along the lines of what Mike said with Ole Miss, that if everyone's beating up on each other, I really think
all right, that's fine. That's fine. I just remember last year, man, you had him in the CFP last year, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You have to merch that. I don't know, man. That's fine.
To be fair, Mike and I both had Utah. At least I think Mike did too.
Yeah.
I know I had Utah and they lost literally right away first week of the season. So
disgusting.
Yeah. Disgusting.
But yeah, no, I like that. I don't hate that. It's just that the problem for me is where things are at right now currently is that Jimbo Fisher is closer to getting fired than they are winning the SEC West if you're doing a temperature check currently. So I think a lot would need to happen. They do have the talents on their roster to do it, but this might be the last year. They need to show some sign of life out there. But yeah, like early in the season, they got a game against Miami. Miami's hungry. They're going to want to win that game. If they lose to Miami early on in the year, that could be the kiss of death for Jimbo Fisher in College Station.
One thing I will say to dog on Mike and I's pick of LSU, the LSU-Bama game is at Alabama. So that would take an LSU win on the road to solidify that one. Makes it a little more tough.
Right.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. And again, LSU, FSU, week 1. I think that determines a lot. Like
LSU's got a tough schedule, though.
Yeah, it's not as tough as Bama's, though. Because Bama has to –
doesn't matter. Bama's winning it all.
Sure.
Bama has Tennessee and Texas and obviously all the
Ole Miss. And
Tennessee was there. Tennessee is their crossover. So
yeah, that's a huge difference. And obviously they get Tennessee and LSU at home, which is great. Awesome. I don't know, man. The quarterback thing, similar to honestly, Bama, very similar to Ohio State. Honestly, I'd probably lump those two together as just question mark at quarterback. I'm not touching them for the college football playoff. But hey, prove me wrong. I'm just not buying stock. Like a lot of people like to pick helmets, Maybe. I don't know, Bus. I'll be in your mentions though if things fall. If things fall, I'll be in there with that hook 'em right away. 9-9.
Hard-headed sports will be re-sharing and tweeting some very, very awesome things if Texas pulls it off against Alabama. That's all I gotta say. Anything else we gotta say about the SEC before we wrap it up today, boys?
Wrapping it up with very simple college football playoff prediction. Let me know who y'all got. Who you got winning it all?
This is tough.
I think Michigan's in. I have them winning the Big Ten. I think they win the Big Ten. It's going to go exactly how we expected their season to go, meaning they're going to probably be undefeated or only one loss and in the 4. So I have to have Michigan in there. You guys all picked Michigan too, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, you guys picked Georgia, so Georgia's in for you. We know if they win the SEC, they're going to be in the Final Four. I'm picking Bama then for the same reason. Big 12, we think Texas can get in there?
I think I have Michigan, Georgia, and Florida State as my 3 for sure's that I'm going to pick. I went with Florida State in the ACC, and I think unless they have 2 losses, they will be in, given how good they are. So then you have to pick between the Big 12 winner and the Pac-12 winner.
Pac-12, right.
And I really think that it depends a lot on who it is. And I think Texas and USC, either of those, if both of those teams win, that would be where it's really a conversation. But since I picked Washington, I'm going to go with Texas as my 4th team.
I'm going Texas then. Yeah, I'm going same conference then. I'll take Clemson. Don't really have that much faith in CFP appearance for Clemson, but we got a rocket. Taking them, Alabama, Michigan, and Texas. And what was the 4th one? We already said it.
I had Texas over whoever I had the Big 12 winner or the Pac-12 winner.
Okay. Mike, who do you got?
All right. Georgia, Michigan up top. And then
Right.
I've got FSU as my 3. And I'm skipping on Texas, and I'm going to go with Oregon. I don't know why. I'm just really in love with this Oregon team this year. I think that them similar to, like, if we're talking about lumping teams again, like I think I lump Oregon closer to Michigan than I kind of like I lumped Ohio State with Bama. I think they're very similar. You get a lot of guys back. Hard-nosed defensive team with a little bit of flair to them. So I like that. I don't know, man. I just can't get myself to trust Texas. The Big 12 is so wild where I think Texas can still win it, but they might have 2 losses, and that's the kiss of death for a team trying to make the college football playoff. And the Big 12 is wild week to week.
I'm changing my mind. I'm picking Washington. Putting Washington in over Texas.
It's time. Well, how many years has it been since we've had the Pac-12 and the
Pac-12 is too good. Yes, the Pac-12 is too good to not have a team in it.
Yes.
And as much as I'm not confident in my Washington pick to win it, that's what we're going to go with.
They might cannibalize each other because they are so good.
Let me down, Washington defense. Please, we need you. We need you.
They better put up just 40 points a game, call it good, which Penix could do. But
I mean, they put up 39.7 last year. So
what was their record? What were they? 10-2, 9-3? Yeah.
So we'll see.
Who's winning it all?
Don't make me say it.
I'm making you say it.
I'm not going to say it. Michigan over Florida State. Throwback 90s style game, Bring back the 90s. That's what this year's motto for college football is. Bring back the 90s. Except for Nebraska. Fuck them.
I'm taking Georgia over Michigan.
Three-peat,
I guess.
I got to take.
I'm not confident in this at all. I'm not confident in almost any of these picks. I think college football is.
I'm not either, man.
Wild.
Yeah,
wild.
They are wild. So with that being said, I'm
you
rocking
pick Alabama.
I'm rocking
Alabama every year.
Oh, we are.
What are we doing? Are
dubbing
we this podcast
Michigan
fangirls
in the title game. In the title game, Alabama over Michigan. That's what's happening. It's going to happen.
So
you guys are going to regret this.
You genuinely think Buckner or Milroy is going to be the national championship quarterback? You genuinely think that?
We running.
Wild. All right, Hardies and Hardos. Let us know how we did. Let us know what you think. this is definitely the best college football preview we've had to date. So thanks, Mike, for being on with us. Thanks for ripping and roaring, and let's get you out of here, huh?
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Right
you,
on.
Mike.
Thanks, fellas.
Spin, I got a Q&A for you. You got one?
I'll make one up.
You make one up, huh? Interesting.
I'm good off the top of my head.
All right, then make one up. Let's hear
it. Best wide receiving core history for a team in the NFL. Best wide receiving core of all time. Like wide receivers on the roster throughout the team's history. Steelers, Niners, Vikings come to mind for me as my three.
You'd almost default have to choose Niners number one.
Yeah, we got two of the top three receivers in NFL history. I mean,
pretty unanimous top three receivers. So I feel like you have to say them just literally based off of that. Vikes have to be in the mix, like you said. I mean, that's Randy Moss. That's a pretty unanimous top three receiver all time. And Chris Carter is a borderline top 10 in many people's eyes. So they have to be right there, right behind 49ers, I would say. Steelers, who I'm forgetting obvious names.
This is more of like a mount situation for me. Like we've got AB, we've got Hines Ward, we've got Antonio Holmes, we've got Lynn Swan, we've got who am I forgetting? I'm missing a big Steelers name. Steelers again, yeah. Steelers more for me was a like number of above average receivers.
I'm trying to think of any others that come to mind.
Well, Antoine Randall L. That's who I missed.
No, I meant teams. Teams that have really good cores. Yeah, I don't know. That was a good question. My question for you. This season,
Plaxico played for the Steelers. I feel like
I
remember not knowing that.
I remember that.
He's top 10 all time and all-time receiving yards for the Steelers as well. So Plaxico Burress on that list.
You don't remember that, really?
I just must have had a stroke or something.
I guess. Jeez, wow. A little young for that, I think. Mine is fantasy related. Off top of your head, no real thought whatsoever into this. Give me your QB1, RB1, WR1, tight end 1. Tight end 1, Kelsey. Easy answer.
WR1 is Jay Jetta's.
Jay Jetta's repeating as WR1, which is rare, I must say. Back-to-back WR1's pretty rare. RB1's even more rare.
RB1, Bijan Robinson.
Oh, my God. That would be nuts.
QB1, Jalen Hurts.
QB1, Josh Allen. Lower his he was QB2 last year, even with all those interceptions. Lower that a little bit. Maybe he can get one. I didn't say running back. Who's my running back? Let's go a fully healthy season, just like last year in a new elite offense, as we saw after you got traded. I'm going CMC back atop the rankings.
I really hope you're right about that one.
I hope you're right about Bijan, just because I got him in 2 dynasty leagues, so that better be right.
All right, Hardies and Hardos, we love you. Thanks for sticking with our hour 20 episode today. But some real good college football content. So check it out. We love you.
Good NFL shit coming up too, y'all. These next couple weeks, tons of NFL shit, tons of fantasy stuff too. All right, so be on the lookout for that. We appreciate y'all.
Hug your friends and family.